Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinema Rogues. I'm your host, Andrew, and with me, as always, is co-host Guy.
Hi.
Hi, Guy.
I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is.
Well, we'll get some introductions out of the way, or housekeeping. Definitely go listen to Board Game Barbarians. That is my board game-related podcast. If you want to hear more of me, then that is where you can find me. You can find more of Guy at Sidetail Studios on YouTube. Have you started, and on Twitch, right?
Yeah, on both.
Yeah. So have you started streaming again?
I did. I streamed the other day. I streamed me editing this show.
Oh, nice.
So if you wanna check on if you wanna check out the stream, then you get a preview of the show and you can see all the different cuts that I make.
You get some behind the scenes footage, and that we don't even have a Patreon. You're just getting that for free. You know, you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, a lot of it is me cutting out like dead air to improve the pace of a joke.
Yeah, I don't do that on my show. I let it fall, let the chips fall wherever they may. But then also go listen to Retro Warriors, our Papa show, the Papa show of this show. They are a video game podcast. If you don't know who they are, if you just found us organically without going through them first, then cool, thank you. But go check them out. They've a really good retro retro video game podcast. Words, I need to say them.
In no particular order, too.
That's true. I just need to say words in any order, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, Guy, what you been up to the last 2 weeks?
Finally wrapped up the women's soccer preseason.
Nice.
It wrapped up in May 8th was the championship game. And here it is, June 10th, and we finally got around to watching the last one. So now we'll start watching the regular season.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. I think I've said it before. I think women's soccer is better than men's soccer, and I stick by that opinion after watching 21 games.
Because they're not huge babies about getting hit.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
I got back into WoW this past week.
Oh no.
Yeah. The new expansion, the way they've got it set up, you can they've contracted the levels, so instead of like 130 levels now, there's only like 60. So I don't know. I just want to see the new story, and then I'll probably quit playing again.
Yeah. I can't do MMOs like in general. For whatever reason, I'll like play them for like a month and then I'll just get bored and stop.
Yeah. I mean, I think WoW has done a good job of just letting you progress through the story. Like originally, when it first released, you had to do like the story quest and the side quest, and I think they've done a good job of the pacing in their later expansions. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. What else?
I've been playing Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering Arena.
Nice.
Basically, I've got the strategy where I just do the daily quest with whatever decks they provide, and then use the coins that I win from that to build like one good deck that I play on the ladder with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
that's good. I tried to get into Hearthstone and liked the gameplay, but didn't like building the decks.
Yeah. Yeah, I use a website that basically that people submit created decks on, but they have stats on number of games played and win rate and stuff like that. And then
nice. So just like Magic.
Yeah. And then they also have, keep track of the meta. So I'll find like the top tier meta style and then pick the best deck in that, and then use that as my target to go towards what I'm building.
Yeah. And
that way at least if I know that I'm losing, it's because I'm bad at playing the deck. It's not because the deck is bad.
Yeah. That's one way to look at it, yeah.
We watched Loki episode 1 that came out yesterday. We watched it today before the show.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it before then.
Before
now.
It's pretty good. I don't know. It's not as like say off-putting and weird as WandaVision was to start, but it's not as like standard Marvel as Captain Falcon was. Was it Captain America and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's it.
So, like, I guess, like, in between the two?
Yeah, kind of in between the two. Like, I guess no spoilers really if you've seen Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
When they're going back and stealing all the Infinity Stones.
Right.
And they try to the series starts when they're trying to steal the Infinity Stone from Loki at the end of Avengers, and like Hulk messes it up, and then Loki disappears with the Tesseract.
Right.
That's where the show picks up, and it's he's created a divergent timeline, and it's dealing with that.
Yeah, that's I know that much from the trailers.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the trailer.
But the trailers basically explained that much.
Yeah.
So you didn't spoil anything if anyone's watched the trailers.
Awesome. And then the last thing is I went to Marfa last week.
How was that?
It's fine. It's an 8-hour drive. From the DFW area. It's about 8 hours to what is almost a border town.
It's about 8 hours there from Austin too.
Yeah, and I found out or figured out this week. I was looking at a map at my lawyer's office, and it's like right there where I-10 and I-20 come together, almost.
Yeah.
But we got out there, and it was a neat place. It's called El Cosmico. We rented a yurt for a couple of days.
Oh yeah, I wanted to stay there.
Yeah, it's kind of a little famous spot. They've got like a regular campgrounds where you can set up a tent. They've got tents that are on like concrete platforms that you can rent out. They've got yurts. They've got RVs, various accommodations there. And then they have like outdoor showers and toilets and stuff.
Are they the ones that have like the see-through dome that you can stay in? Or is that there's a different place then?
That might be a different place.
I know there's some place out in that area that you can rent like this see-through dome basically and sleep under the stars.
That sounds cool too.
Yep.
But we got there, we went and got some groceries and a cooler, just to, like I said, we're going to hang out for a couple of days. And then our pet sitter texted us and was like, "Hey, I can't get into your house." And we're like, "What?" And come to find out, she tried both doors with the key, and she was able to turn the lock, but we had deadbolted it from the inside and left through the garage door.
Oh, nice.
So our 2 dogs were locked into our house.
That sucks.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So we kind of looked at each other for about 5 minutes, tried to think of some other way of handling it, and then said, "Nope, back in the car."
Yeah, there's not, other than like just telling them to break into your house.
Right.
There's not really any other way to get around that, I guess.
Not really. So we spent 16 out of 19 hours in the car on Friday through Saturday. We got home at 4 in the morning. We left at 9 a.m.
I have to drive to Lubbock tomorrow for a wedding.
Ooh, that's a haul.
And that's going to be quite the drive as well. I hope a similar situation doesn't happen. That would suck.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, that was our thing. We're like, well, at least we didn't like fly, and we've got to like find a flight home or something. We could drive back. It was fine.
Right.
And we got here, and we had left out like puppy pads and stuff, just in case, because we were gonna be gone for 2 days, and you never know.
Right.
But we got home, and there was no pee or poop, and the dogs were like, "Oh my God, thank you," and we're like, begging at the back door to go out.
Jeez.
But
well, good thing you got there in time.
Yeah. So that was my adventure, and I feel like I haven't had a normal day since. So one of these days, because like we did that. Then Sunday I went and picked up my kids from their mom's house. Monday was my girlfriend's birthday. Tuesday was my daughter's birthday. And then yesterday I had to get up early for an 8:00 meeting, as well as I had to go see my lawyer about Dad's estate. And then I didn't get to sleep till like midnight because D&D. So I was like fucking worn out.
Well, hopefully you get some time to rest this weekend, and hopefully you get to go back to Marfa and actually vacation there for a couple days instead of, coming back home right away.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to like seeing, the West Texas sky. It's I don't know. I haven't seen the non-city sky in years.
It's pretty great. There's also an observatory out there too in the Big Bend area.
Yeah.
I guess when you go back, because I assume that you're not just going to be like, no, never going back there.
No, we saw Marfa. That's it.
Yeah. When you go back to the Big Bend area, I would highly recommend to anyone to go to the observatory. Not on spring break, but just go and they have nightly or like on the weekends they've got a thing you can do where you go and they just have multiple telescopes set up to look at different sections of the sky, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. But that's about it. What have you been up to?
I watched a couple movies. I watched Little Shop of Horrors because I was feeling it, and I love that movie. I've been rewatching New Girl recently.
Dude, I still haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Really? It's a good movie. It's also a good play or a good musical.
I am scared of plants.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Like, not like I can't be near a plant scared of plants, but like when I go jogging past this field. There's a sidewalk and then there's this unmowed field where they're about to start developing stuff,
Right.
And they're like, like giant thistles and stuff. And I steer like as wide as I can on the like fucking jogging path from that unmowed field. I don't know what it is. I guess when I was little, plants got scary to me, and like, it seems like in the 80s there were a lot of like anthropomorphic plants that were ready to eat you.
Maybe, or like in maybe like Jumanji. Jumanji had some plants.
Jumanji did. Fraggle Rock had a plant that was alive at one point.
I don't know. The Little Shop plant is, I mean, it becomes a huge puppet, but it's just like a big puppet. But if it like actually terrifies you, then maybe don't watch it.
So yeah, I've avoided that movie, but I hear it's really great, and I love Rick Moranis. So
yeah, it's a great movie. I would highly recommend it if you can get over the plant thing, because it's the main focus of the movie. And then I watched Bo Burnham's Inside, his new special that is just him inside a room that he self-recorded and directed and everything. And what a great show that was.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it.
I recommend it if you like comedy, and especially if you're a Bo Burnham fan. Just a good, funny show.
I think the only Bo Burnham stand-up that I have seen was Words.
Was that his first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was,
I don't know.
It was enjoyable, but I haven't like gone back to him since.
I'm a fan of Bo Burnham. I like him. He definitely delves into like depressing topics, or just depression in general. And it's one of those things where you can't tell if he is actually depressed or if it's like him. I mean, I'm sure he's actually depressed, but in some instances, but I can't tell if he like kind of makes it more for the show kind of a thing.
Nice. I'll have to check that out.
And then I watched not older movie. It's like from 2010, 2007. I don't remember. Hero. Because the movie we're gonna do reminded me of it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, because it's all about like bringing together different lands and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that's what made me think of it. But yeah, the hero movie with Jet Li, I think it's done by the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon director. But yeah, I guess we'll get into some news. Do you want to take it away with your news that you put down there?
Sure. Amazon is buying MGM Studios for $8.45 billion.
Everybody's getting gobbled up.
Yep. I guess they're using it to bolster Amazon Prime Video, and then also, I suppose, to be able to get some of the profit from theater releases as well.
Yeah.
Everybody seems kind of cool with it, except for the James Bond people, the Broccolis.
Well, they're gonna have to get over it because I guess it's happening. So,
Right? Yeah.
What are they gonna do about it?
I don't know. They're afraid that Amazon making like more James Bond movies and TV shows is going to water down the brand or whatnot.
I mean, to be fair, the brand is extremely sparse and was watered down very heavily during like the 80s.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it got super nutty with the Pierce Brosnan movies.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan movies were nutty. Sean Connery movies, there's a shit ton of them. Like, I don't know. They've just been like sparse. They've been releasing them like so few lately that I could get down for a James Bond, like quality James Bond show.
Yeah, or even
as long as it's quality.
Or even like a show about
series.
Yeah, a series about like MI6 in general and the other 00 agents. Like, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Or just like a mini series, or I don't know. I don't think Amazon's gonna go like super nuts with it, but who knows? Maybe they will. And then the only two other news pieces that I had that are not like, there's a couple Jurassic Park related stuff, but I didn't feel like it was very important. It was just like Jurassic Park's happening, and it's gonna use dinosaurs from that we just discovered like 2 years ago, and there will be no like biomutant or created dinosaurs, like human created dinosaurs.
Well, that's, I mean, good, I guess. I don't know. I like their hybrid like stealth dinosaur they made in the last movie.
That's the word I was looking for. There's no hybrid dinosaurs in the new movie. But yeah, no, I liked it too. I thought it was fine. I mean, at this point, I'm not looking for realism with my Jurassic Park movies.
Right. Like, even like, I don't know, the Jurassic Park is becoming increasingly scientifically inaccurate the more we learn about dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, like when it first came out, I mean, it was scientifically inaccurate at the time anyway, but you're still like, oh, cool, dinosaurs. And they're kind of like trying to make it science-y with the way that they make them. And now they're just like, yeah, we took these two dinosaurs and we made them have sex, and now we got this invisible dinosaur. Like, I don't know.
They didn't even get to have sex. They just injected DNA, man.
I know. I just wanted to make it funnier. The last two bits of news we have is In the Heights was dropped on HBO Max a day early, so it is out now. And that is Lin-Manuel Miranda's latest movie.
Right, and that's an adaptation of the Broadway play, right?
Of his Broadway play,
yeah. Yeah.
And then Loki was released on Disney Plus yesterday. Well, yesterday for us, not yesterday for everybody listening. So it's already out for you right now. Go watch it if you have Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think when this comes out, it'll be on episode 2 is about to come out.
Nice. Cool. Alrighty. Well, we're talking about Raya and the Last Dragon today. Or is it Raya?
That's Raya?
Raya and the Last Dragon.
I thought it was Raya too, and then I watched the show and went, oh, right, okay.
I mean, I watched the movie as well and completely forgot the name since then, so that's...
Well, shame on you, Andrew.
Yep. All right, well, synopsis-wise, we got, after a powerful crystal is broken, a young girl must go on an adventure to find the last living dragon and save the world. Original release was on March 5th in theaters and on Disney Plus Premiere Access, and later on standard Disney Plus on June the 4th.
I like that it was basically a month away. I hope that if they do continue doing this Disney Plus Premiere, that the standard Disney Plus it stays at like a month. I think that's a good amount of time.
What do you mean a month away?
Well, it released in between
March
its original release and its wide release or standard Disney Plus release.
Right, but that was March 5th, so that's like 2 months. No,
Oh yeah,
2 months.
I'm sorry.
3 months.
It's 3 months. My bad.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
can't
that'd be
do
great
math.
if it was only a month. That would be awesome. But I think wasn't Mulan like also 3 months? I think all of them have been 3 months.
Yeah, probably. That makes more sense. I got excited because I thought May was the 5th month or the 3rd month. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did that too on the opposite, where I was waiting for the new Mass Effect, the Mass Effect remake or whatever it was.
Oh, the Legendary Edition?
Yeah, the Legendary Edition to come out. And I looked at like the Xbox pre-orders, and it was back in May, and I thought I read May 16th.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I'll buy it now because that's like 2 days away. And then after I bought it, I realized it said March, and I got sad. So you're not the only one that mixes up May and March. Well, I couldn't find a whole lot of like development information. There wasn't really a whole lot of information that I could find. So the only thing I really have is on August 24th of 2019, Disney announced the film during their D23 Expo.
Nice.
Notable people, we have the directors, because there are two, Carlos Lopez Estrada and Don Hall. It was written by Qui Gwen and Adele Lim. Story was by Paul Briggs, John Ripa. Really, like, the story was done by like 10 people, but I honestly just didn't want to read all of their names off, so I'm lazy.
Fair enough.
The leads were Kelly Marie Tran as Raya, Aquafina as Sisu, Gemma Chan as Namari, and then you had some supporting roles. You had Sandra Oh as Verena, Daniel Day Kim as Chief Benjad, and Alan Tudyk was Tuk Tuk. He is Disney's resident animal noisemaker.
At this point, for sure, right?
For sure, 100%.
I mean, I love Alan Tudyk, and just the fact that he keeps coming back to these roles, like, okay, great.
Yeah.
But I would watch anything that he's in, to be honest.
He was Hey in Moana.
Yeah.
And then were there any other animal movies that he's done?
No, not yet. But he was the voice of the funny sassy robot in Rogue One.
That's true. He was the voice of that robot. I liked the behind the scenes. This is just tangent, but behind the scenes of Moana, I watched like a video of all the actors,
mm-hmm.
and there's a scene of Alan Tudyk doing like hey noises.
Yeah.
And he stops at one point and looks at the camera, and he's just like, I went to Juilliard. And then continues to like make chicken noises.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So no awards or nominations yet because the movie just came out. And then critical responses, we got Rotten Tomato, a 95 critic score, 97 audience score, very high scores on the Rotten Tomatoes. And then Metacritic is a bit lower at 75, Metascore 7.1 user score. What did you think of it?
I thought it was really good. Is a bit formulaic. But I think that overall, it like when I finished watching the movie, my immediate thought was that was a great movie. There were several parts where I personally thought it was going to go one way, but the way that it played out was in that direction, but like slightly different. And I don't want to get into spoilers about it yet, but the movie overall managed to keep things fresh and sort of surprising, so that it wasn't as telegraphed as say like Home Alone 2 was, right?
Right.
But it wasn't. But you never felt like the story was going to go off the rails, or there wasn't any kind of like huge like twist or something supremely unexpected. It was a pretty straightforward movie, but with hints of flair, I guess.
Yeah.
And then and it passed the Bechdel test like with flying colors. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's a way to tell to sort of test gender bias in a movie. If two women are on screen having a conversation for longer than 5 minutes without mentioning a man, that is a pass for the test. Because when the term first came up, or the woman, Miss Bechtel, created it or thought of it as a thought experiment, like only like 30 or 40% of movies at the time were, that were released that year, like passed it. And it's become more of a focus over the years, which is great.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but I guess I can see that happening for sure. Or I mean, I know that in the movie there were a lot of not conversations about men, so that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had your main conflict, the protagonist and antagonist, were two women who were just working on their view of the
Raya
world.
And Amari were just trying to get at each other or trying to talk about the dragons.
Yeah, it's my way of pointing out that it's a female-led film. Female, I hate that word. Excuse me. Is a woman-led film, and those are in short supply in features in general, and really in animated features. So, points for this movie.
Well, cool. Well, I felt this movie it just felt a little bit too manufactured or by committee for me. I didn't really feel like tension during the movie for the most part. I mean, there were a couple scenes where it was kind of like tense, but there didn't really feel like there was really any. I can't even think of them. Completely blanking on the word now.
Like stakes?
Yeah, there didn't feel like there were any stakes.
Yeah, I can see that. I
mean, there were story-wise stakes, but it didn't feel like it.
Right, and I think that goes kind of with what I was saying about it being, kind of formulaic and kind of playing out the way that you would expect it to, with a little bit of variance. You never really, or it seems like you never really felt like you were expecting that, things could go super wrong.
Right. Yeah, there wasn't really any part that like kept me guessing or made me think, which, I mean, on one hand you could say it's a kids film, but on the other hand, for the most part, Disney making kids films has been able to at least keep me invested in the movie. And for whatever reason, this movie like lost me halfway through. I just wasn't invested in it. And couldn't get back into it for the most part. But would you suggest watching this movie?
I would suggest watching it if you have kids. I think it's a good family movie. I think it's skippable if you're just a general, Disney fan. Especially their more modern animation. It's okay. It's enjoyable, but I wouldn't. If I had paid for premium Disney Plus, I'd have been mad. How about that?
Yeah, I would have been upset if I paid for this movie, specifically for the movie. But yeah, I would agree. If you've got kids, then it's definitely worth a watch. But I wouldn't say it's a waste of time for you to watch it. But you shouldn't expect a lot from it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just, it feels like as shitty as it is to sound, it feels like a DreamWorks movie.
Yeah.
Compared to Disney movies. Like, DreamWorks is always kind of somehow like just a little less quality or a little lower quality look-wise. And then also, like, the stories are, for the most part, not as great either.
And this was a Disney movie, not a Pixar movie, right?
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, if this was Pixar, I'd be like, I would be very upset.
Right.
But yeah, I guess now we'll get into the spoilers section. Spoiler zone.
Spoiler zone.
And what did you want to talk about first?
I kind of want to talk about the companions in general. Well, I mean, I say in general. I mean, the specifics of their companions. Like Boone, I enjoyed.
Yeah,
I thought he was funny.
He was a little kid, right?
Yeah, he was the boat captain kid.
He reminded me of in the very beginning of Moana, whenever she's trying to teach the kids to dance, there's that one kid that's like basically like popping and locking and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's who it made me think of the entire time.
Yeah, his story in general was sad, and everybody's story in this is sad, and I think kind of going back to how everybody got in the situation in the first place, that was one of those things that when I was watching it, I was like, or she was talking about how like the world wasn't messed up, and then she said, but that's where I can't come in. And, my thought then was like, oh no, she's going to like do something on accident and then like blame herself or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but my thought was like, she's going to accidentally break this, the crystal or, something along those lines. And what her mistake, ended up being was trusting somebody that she shouldn't have trusted or whatnot.
Right.
And that's kind of one of those things I'm talking about. It did what I expected to do, but in a different way than how I expected them to do it.
I don't know. It also feels weird that like the beginning of the movie was her trusting someone she wasn't supposed to trust, and then at the end of the movie it was her trusting that same person that has failed her before in the past.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know.
Yeah, and the end there is another one of those moments where I kind of thought that everybody would like get sucked up into the bad guys. I forgot what they're called. The Droon, maybe.
They were very forgettable and not in the movie a lot for whatever reason. They're like the main force that's driving the plot of the movie is getting rid of these things, and you don't really. That I guess that was what the no stakes. You didn't feel like they were there because they never they were just always off in the distance. And you never really saw them. Yeah,
until like the very end. But at that point, they've gone through sort of their hero's adventure and stuff already.
Right, they've already completed the majority of their process, or of their adventure.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was the fact that they weren't the creatures just weren't around. You could see like the statue people of where they'd been, but they were supposed to be everywhere and multiplying, and you didn't feel that.
Yeah. And like I figured at the end it would be down to one person who would do exactly the same thing that the dragon did, but I thought that was going to be Raya, and it turned out not to be. And so again, it's one of those, it went the way I thought it was going to, just slightly different than how I expected.
Right. I also didn't feel the tension from the creatures at the very end. Whenever you see like literally thousands of them about to engulf this city, but then you go like the action goes into the city and there's only like 5.
Yeah,
like shouldn't the whole thing be overrun?
Right. There were certain points where it seemed like some people were escaping. It's like how
they surrounded the entire city. How are these people getting out?
Yeah, like what's the point of sending people outside the city? Yeah, I agree with you there too. And then again, the MacGuffin of the sort of, it's a magical MacGuffin that wards off these bad guys, and the bad guys don't ever attack from behind, I guess.
Well, it's because they got the crystal. They don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I guess. Seems like they could, stone a leg or something.
Yeah. I also felt weird at the end, speaking of like all the companions, everyone, whenever they turn the stone, they all have that same pose with their hands cupped outward.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, for whatever reason, Raya does that pose with her hands cupped outward, but then all of her companions get to like hold on to her, and they don't do that pose, and it felt like weird. It felt weird that they did not do the same pose.
Yeah, they were kind of making some sort of like weird hero tableau, which nobody would have ever seen. Like you see it as a viewer, right? But
right.
In the event that the world ends, nobody's gonna see this sort of like cool stone statue and know anything about what it is. but at the end of the day, they don't turn into stone, and nobody sees it anyway.
Right. So it was just weird.
But back to the companions. Then you had Noi, the baby,
Yep.
who I don't know how to feel about that baby. Like, she was cute, and it's kind of funny that she was like a thief or whatnot, but it's just a weird choice for a character.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are also scenes where she's like doing ninja moves and stuff like that, and backflips and flipping onto like the roofs of buildings and like parkouring. But then there are other scenes where she has to like climb down steps like a baby would have to do.
Right.
And I'm like, why can't she just like flip down the steps? Like keep the ninja motif going.
Yeah, it seemed kind of inconsistent in her abilities and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't really have a problem with her.
Yeah, I liked her monkey companions. I thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you had Tong, the leader of a village, the last surviving member of a village, and he was that whole gruff-looking guy who's actually just really kind and nice, and I mean, he's all right as a character, I guess, but I don't feel like he added to the story a whole lot. He just happened to be a guy that they brought along.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. My wife said that which I agree with her, he looks like two different people from Tangled
I haven't seen
mixed
Tangled
together. So, like, they're just like background characters, so they're not like main characters, but they look like an eye patch guy from Tangled mixed with another one of like the ruffians. So it kind of looked like they kind of recycled his look.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time Disney's recycled things, right?
Right.
Like, isn't there a GIF of like, was it Mowgli and Winnie the Pooh doing the same thing or some shit?
Oh, I mean, in the old days they recycled movement frequently. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had Sisu the dragon, who I enjoyed her character as a human. I enjoyed her character as a dragon. I think Aquafina did her voice, right?
Yeah, I think Aquafina did a great job.
Yeah, I think that was a well-conceived character. You can tell they spent a lot of time on the animation of her, and I thought it was acted really well. So I think Sisu and Raya and who's the bad guy again? I forgot her name already. Namari.
Namari.
Were all really well done, and their actors showed a lot of range and did well with the material they had.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think Sisu was a great character. I felt like it was weird, like her. I know, like the movie they're trying to say like, oh, you need to trust people.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt it was weird that her like naivete. My God, I can't speak today. You know when you can pronounce a word in your head, but you just can't pronounce it in real life for whatever reason.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. I think you were going for naivete.
There you go. Her naivete was just. It felt weird that won out over, what Raya knew and what had happened in the past. And I feel like the only reason that Namari changed her mind was because there was she saw an actual dragon.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any like faith in the idea of what Raya was trying to do. She literally saw a dragon and was like, oh, they're real. So this crystal is real. So we can use it to save everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It lost something was lost there.
Yeah. And there was some contrast in how she dealt with it and how her mom dealt with it. I mean, she came up and said, hey, dragons are real. And her mom's like, yes, so.
Yeah. Namari's mom was kind of, I didn't really understand. Like, she had the ability to fix it. And Namari's like, hey, we can get all of the crystals and we can save everyone. And her mom still being like, no, we'll just protect ourselves. And that's like super isolationalist. I don't know, it feels weird that she didn't change her mind to saving everyone, and then you think she would be like, well, I want to be the savior, so now I can save everyone, and now it's our kingdom that has the crystal, and we get to be the ones in charge, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of character motivation that didn't make a whole lot of sense in that perspective.
Yeah.
I thought the dragons overall were really neat. Just the way that they were animated and the different powers that they had. Although, I kind of have a problem with this too, where like they specifically said that the ability to like run on water or whatnot was a specific dragon's ability, and then at the end they're all running on water.
Yeah, that's how they fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean that. Yeah. I don't really have anything to say to like. They said it was like one of her siblings, but all of the dragons at the end. I had a problem with none of the other dragons talking. Like at the very end, Sisu's like, "Oh my god, it's so glad to see you guys. Like I'm so happy." And then nobody responds. They just all like smile and nod their heads. Like they couldn't hire any other actors or like anyone else to just say, "We missed you" or "Hi" or, you know, anything.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I would expect that her family members to also voice something, right?
Yeah, like at least like one of her family members have a voice and just say "I love you" or "I missed you" or "hello." Like they've been in a stone for, what did she say, like over 5,000 years or something like that?
Yeah. Did they talk in the flashback scene?
I think they did. Actually, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they did or not. Huh. Well, that's just another.
Yeah, that would make it even weirder.
You know, if they talked in the flashback but didn't talk, I don't know. I'm not going to go back and watch it either. So we'll never know.
And that tells you all you need to know about how Andrew feels about this movie.
I don't know. I've made it pretty clear that it was an okay viewing. Like it was an okay Disney movie. It wasn't anything special. It's not like, I don't know. I feel like at some point I end up watching Moana like at least 3 or 4 times a year, mainly because my wife likes it so much, but also because it's just a great movie. And this will definitely not be that.
Yeah, I think I felt similarly about The Good Dinosaur. Right, that was a Pixar movie that was kind of a miss for me.
I never even saw that. That was a big miss for me.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, I thought the animation. I probably thought the animation was better than you did. Than you kind of made it out to be. Like the water animation, the colors were really vivid. In a lot of it.
Colors are really good. The water was really good. The dragon's hair, Sisu's hair, was really good.
Oh man, I loved her hair in the human style too, or in her human form. I thought the color of her hair and the sort of texture, I guess, was pretty neat.
But then there were like other scenes where the background didn't feel detailed, like just kind of felt like it was there. And I'm not talking about like in a desert where like there's a desert scene. I don't expect there to be much there, but like in the snowy region, it felt like, I don't know. It just felt like there should have been more there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And then again, going back to kind of character motivation, it's the speed with which the different human tribes were ready to like turn on each other, at the beginning and at the end for that matter. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And maybe it's because I haven't been part of sort of like a, culturally like warring civilization or whatnot, where you have a bunch of different people that are supposed to be working together and just can't get along or whatnot. And with a bunch of different factions. Like in the US we have, like 2 factions, right? When we're talking about politics or whatnot. But
for the most part,
yeah, it seems like, a lot of the problems in the movie could have been solved with, a conversation.
Right. Yeah. I also, I thought it was weird in the beginning how Raya, she started out not trusting any of the other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden she's hanging out with like a kid from another country. And then it's just fine. And she just wants to bring and show her like the most sacred thing that her people has. Like, it's just, it felt weird. Like, even from the beginning, it felt like she wouldn't do that, but
yeah, I kind of got that feeling too. Like, like you said, she wasn't trusting. She didn't believe, her dad's like plan was gonna work or whatnot.
Yeah, she was like, Dad, it's not gonna work. We're never gonna trust these people. And then she like talks to another child for like 10 minutes, and it's like, hey, you want to see this really cool thing that no one else should see?
Yeah. Although, at the same time, I know that in my life I've met, a person or two where all of a sudden, like I didn't know them, but immediately after we spend like an hour together, it feels like we've been best friends forever, right?
Right.
So I don't know.
I don't know either.
And I think that that pretty well sums up the movie.
Yep. Well, this has been a kind of a weird episode.
It really has.
Like,
well, it's kind of a weird movie, right? It wasn't great. I kind of go back,
but it wasn't like terrible,
right?
I mean,
yeah, like I said, when I finished the movie the first time, I was like, "This is a great movie," and then the more I think about it, the more I kind of like poke holes in it. And like, yeah, I mean, it was okay, I guess, right?
I'm also being a huge downer, so that might contribute to your not liking the movie.
That's possible. I guess it's just his final thoughts. It's, I don't know. I have a hard time recommending the movie unless you just want like a family movie to watch with your kids. Because it is entertaining, but it's not. I don't think it'll be remembered as a Disney masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, where you can watch this is Disney Plus, like we said earlier. There's nowhere else you can watch it besides actually purchasing the movie or renting it. Although I don't know. I guess renting it would technically be cheaper than just getting a month subscription to Disney. But I don't know.
I don't know. Can you rent it?
I think you can rent it on like iTunes
and
okay. Amazon. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can only buy it. I don't know. But yeah, I know you can purchase it other places besides Disney.
Sure.
And then Guy, what are we doing next time?
Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which you've already seen, right?
Yeah, you're gonna make me watch that again.
Well, you're gonna be co-host, so you can watch or not watch it again as long as you're ready to talk about it.
I mean, I probably need to watch it again because I was like on my phone the entire time because it was kind of boring.
All right, we'll give it another fair chance, and we'll see how it goes.
I'll give it a fair shot. I won't be on my phone. I'll watch the movie. We'll see how it goes.
All right, sounds good. Well, I guess we'll talk to you next time, man.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. And what a weird episode this has been. All right, so we're just gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.